Hi guys, so today I just wanted to share the books I am planning to read in March. I'm currently having the best time with reading and I'm so happy about it, so excited. So let's just continue this reading high. The first book I've already started, I'm already obsessed with. Dare I say this is shaping up to be my favorite book of all time. One of them at least, definitely a contender, but I still have a lot of this book to go. It is a chunker, and of course it's Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb. It's finally happened, it's finally begun, the beginning of the end. I'm currently like over 200 pages into this.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I can't tell you anything plot-wise about this book because it is the final book in Robin Hobb's very long Realm of the Elderling series, which is like a series that is full of series, and this is like the final book, and there has been connections to all the series already in this book, or not all of them, but majority of them, and I'm obsessed. The characters in here as well, there's a few I've been following for over 60 years since book one. The emotional attachment, it's a lot. I'm definitely gonna finish this within the first couple of weeks of March is the plan, and then I'm gonna be done. But I'm already thinking while reading this I have to go back and reread it immediately. I really want to annotate this, but I can't because it's a library copy, so I'll have to get my hands on a physical copy at some stage. Speaking of series, I also really want to read the novella that is part of the Greenbone Saga series. So I believe it's a prequel and it's called the Jade Settler of Jungloon. I don't know anything about this. I don't want to know anything. I just know we don't follow our main characters. That's enough for me. I am currently still reading the Greenbone Saga, but I haven't included it in this TBR because it was included in the last TBR, and I don't want to be a TBR repeater here. But yes, as soon as I've finished that trilogy, I will also be reading this novella. So that's going to be another series, another favorite series that I'm going to be done with very soon. I also really want to read some P. Deli Clark books that I have not picked up. He has a couple of novellas, the first of which is Ring Shout. All I know about this book is it's a dark fantasy with a bit of a twist on history, and I believe it follows the time when the Ku Klux Klan were around. And the other book of his I really want to pick up is The Black God's Drums. I actually did start listening to this novella sometime last year in the middle of my hiatus, and I just stopped listening to it, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but just because I'd really just stopped reading and engaging with reading and like online book content, and I just stopped engaging with the books I was reading at the time. But I was enjoying this a lot. We follow a young teenage girl who was sort of like a street rat, but not quite, but on that sort of line, and she is determined to become part of the airships. There's all these airships in this world, and in order for her to get onto the airship that she wants to get onto, she has to earn that captain's trust. And basically she starts doing, I think, spying or gathering information type of work for the captain in order to get her ticket onto this airship that she wants to go on. That's kind of it. I can't remember if it's sapphic, but when I read it, it felt very sapphic, and in my memory it is, but I could just be making that assumption because a Master of Jinn is sapphic, so maybe I'm mixing the two. I don't know. I really didn't read much of this, but I love P. Deli Clark's writing, and just his creation of his fantasy worlds are just very fascinating to me. It's right up my alley, so I just want to read everything he ever writes, and these two books, or these two novellas, are what I've got remaining at the moment, so gotta get to them ASAP. Plus I think it would be nice to break up reading this chunker and what I have left of the Greenbone Saga. I should have just put the Greenbone Saga in this TBR because I keep mentioning it. But yeah, it'll be so good to break those big books up with some short novellas. I also got this little graphic novel type of book out from the library. It's got a lot of text and then there are some graphics, so I don't know if you would actually class it as a graphic novel, but essentially this is called Fabled Kingdom and it's by Queenie Chan. It's volume 1 and on the back the tagline is, what if Little Red Riding Hood's mother isn't her real grandmother? What if two true born grandmothers are both queens and one is good while the other one is evil? So it's a spin on Little Red Riding Hood and that world. Yeah, so it's got like dark fairy tale foresty vibes. Dark fairy tales set in forest are like my favorite thing. I love them. I always love them. The atmosphere, the setting, it's my favorite. So I really want to read this book for that reason, and I think again a nice short little book to break up the big ones, always a lot of fun. This next book, it's kind of embarrassing. I started reading this book, it would have been over 2 years ago now. I started reading it in a vlog and I never finished it. Are you serious? I'm trying to film. I'm gonna feed the cat. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. The cat interruption has been resolved. As I was saying, this book I have started reading 2 years ago in a vlog, basically abandoned it ever since. I think again, this is one of those books I abandoned because I went on a hiatus from like reading and making content. But I really enjoyed this. This book is set in Regency London and it's a Regency London setting where there are sorcerers and it's very fantastical. We follow the sorcerer to the crown and it's great. There's also like a fantasy romance which I was just getting introduced to where I was up to at this book. I am obviously going to go back and restart it because it's been 2 years. My memory is not that good, but I really did enjoy what I read of this, and it's the first book in a trilogy. I think it's a trilogy, at least it's the first book in a series. So I need to just finally get around to reading this. It's always like sitting at an area on my shelves that I look at it a lot. Like when I'm sitting at my desk, I can see this book, it stares at me and it's telling me to read it. So it's about time. So that's what we're finally going to do. And the final book that's going to be on my March TBR for this video is The War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This series is a series, it's chaotic, it's messy, it's kind of a fun time. Basically, there is a vlog I am really hoping to film and finish in March, and this book is part of that vlog, or I want it to be part of that vlog. So that's why I'm going to read this. But this is book 4 in the, what actual series name are you? It is just called From Blood and Ash. Yeah, a Blood and Ash novel. So the first book is called Blood and Ash, and that's also what the series is called. And it's so different now in the story where I am compared to book 1. So I feel like giving you the synopsis doesn't even matter because the story is just so different. But it's a fantasy romance series. It starts off following Poppy, and she's this maiden that's been kept very isolated in this religious cult of sorts. And basically someone new comes into her life who's like a bodyguard. So I'll be talking all about this book and my thoughts in the vlog, which will be fun. Anyway, that is it for my reading plans for March. Let me know what book is your top priority in March, and I hope you're going well. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're currently reading. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time without the cat interruptions.